How's it going, everyone? This is my review of Friday Night SmackDown this past Friday night and last night's Monday Night Raw. I'm not going to go in detail because, both shows are about 3 hours long. I'm going to go over the key factors and overall of what's going to happen, especially to WrestleMania this week. Can't wait. We get NXT tonight, which is going to lead up to Stand and Deliver this Saturday. Can't wait for that either. So tune in to NXT tonight to see what we're going to see what's going to take place this Saturday on Stand and Deliver. And I think it's going to be a great PLE and great for NXT. And I'm hoping Obafemi retains the title, but I wouldn't mind seeing Drake Williams retain the title, or Javante Evans even win his first championship. But I hope Obafemi retains, the ruler. Big on Obafemi, huge fan, love the guy. So tune in to NXT tonight. Don't miss it. And this Friday we got SmackDown and then the Hall of Fame. I read online, I hope it's not true, but I read that the WWE Hall of Fame is going to be at like midnight Friday night. I really hope that's not true because I'm really looking forward to watching it. But if it is, I'm just going to catch the replay on Saturday. Just saying. I'm not saying out that late just to watch WWE Hall of Fame. It's going to be great. Love the Class 25 for Triple H. Michelle McCool. Even Lex Luger. Love Lex Luger back looking at his old school matches. Would have been a huge fan back in the day if I grew up in that time. And then you had the WrestleMania 13 match between Bret Hart and Stone Cold into the Hall of Fame. CM Punk's going to be inducting that. As announced yesterday, Shawn Michaels is inducting his best friend into the Hall of Fame. Love it. Can't wait. It's going to be great. I said it since Triple H Hall of Fame was announced. Shawn Michaels should be the one. Should be. Nobody else. A lot of people are saying Stephanie McMahon. Some were even pointing out others to induct him. I was like, nope, Shawn Michaels, his best friend that's been there with him through thick and thin. Triple H been through Shawn with thick and thin, DX, all that. It's got to be Shawn Michaels, nobody else. And I'm glad it is. So we're going to see that Friday night, W Hall of Fame. Now, let's get to the recap of SmackDown and Raw from this past week. SmackDown was good. Again, we had the opening between Nick Aldis and Randy Orton. I think Randy Orton's opponent is either going to be Nick Aldis. He's going to lace up the boots again, which I hope. If you watch Nick Aldis back in TNA when he was Magnus, and then when he wrestled in NWA and he was the NWA World Champion, he's a great wrestler. He's great. And him and Orton, even though this would be a late, minute feud thrown together, late match, not feud really. You got the story there because Randy Orton has caused Nick Aldis some trouble, has RKO'd him a couple times. So it's there, and I think we can get a good match with this, plus with the story. So I think it's going to be Nick Aldis. If it's not going to be Nick Aldis, I think it's going to be someone he has handpicked, and we won't find out till WrestleMania, and Orton's out there, and then it's going to be somebody returning. Many has stated Aleister Black. I would hope that would be great. That would be a great way to bring him back, and I really hope they keep his entrance in his music. They better not change that. Yeah, Aleister Black needs to keep his original NXT Black and Gold entrance and music. When he came up from the underneath, all the candles around him and all that. The theme. Nobody's truly good. That would be great for Aleister Black, and great. Him returning on WrestleMania and get his WrestleMania spot. He has put in the work. He has earned it, and going up against Randy Orton would be great. He doesn't necessarily have to win. He doesn't. And a lot of people get hung up on that. Oh, well, so-and-so should have won. So-and-so doesn't have to win to go over. And if you listen to Ric Flair's podcast at all, he even talked about that one time years ago. I remember him talking about that on a podcast episode, and he talked about where you don't have to win. You can lose and still go over because the fans love you. And sometimes if you lose, they love you even more because they're like, this guy needs to win or this girl needs to win. So I would love to see Aleister Black return. It would be great for him to return and go up against Randy Orton. And I think Randy Orton could put him over, whether Randy wins or whether Randy loses. If it's not Black, I pushed for Karrion Kross for him to be handpicked, but it looks like he is tied up with AJ Styles or Logan Paul. I think he's going to interfere with that match or attack whoever wins afterwards. I think we're going to see Kross at WrestleMania this week. I really do. It's not going to be a match, but he's going to show up and he's going to attack whoever wins that match. Or he could attack AJ Styles whether he wins or loses. So that's, especially if he loses. Because he's really harping on AJ Styles to defeat Logan Paul because Logan Paul is not one of us. And Logan, he's an outsider that came in. I mean, Logan Paul's a great wrestler. I love Logan Paul. Not a huge fan, but he is great in the ring, and you cannot deny that. And if you do, then I don't know what to say. I mean, he's great. Out of all the celebrities I've seen show up in the professional wrestling, Bad Bunny wasn't bad, but Logan Paul just tops them all, in my opinion. So, shout out to Logan Paul. Great wrestler. Great to put it all out on the line for something you've done in your career, but he learned and he adapted, and now he's great, and I love seeing him wrestle. But back to SmackDown. Randy Orton's mystery opponent, I think it's going to be, honestly, Nick Aldis. I think that's what they're going to be leading up to. So I think that's what's going to be. You had Solo Sikoa interrupt. I really don't think Solo's going to be Randy's opponent, but if it is, I think it'll be okay because there's the story there. So it won't be like a huge match I gotta see, but I think it'll be good and solid because there is a story. But Solo came out, Tama Tonga. I love how Randy Orton did the yee. It was funny. Randy Orton's great on the mic. You can't deny that. So we had Tama Tonga and Solo come out. Then they try to attack Randy Orton. Then Randy Orton, and then LA Knight came out and saved Randy Orton. Then we had the setup tag team match with LA Knight and Randy Orton in the main event against Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga, which is great. LA Knight's great on the mic. Love LA Knight. LA Knight doesn't get his push either. I think, honestly, the two main guys I have in mind to face either Cody or Cena for the WWE Undisputed Championship after WrestleMania. I really kind of right now hoping it's Cody. It should be either LA Knight or Drew McIntyre. One of those two should be the ones next in line to feud with Cody Rhodes for the WWE Undisputed Championship, and one of them can dethrone him. I would say Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre deserves his title run. He has earned it. All the time he has put in, especially in 2024 alone, he has earned his title run. So I think Drew McIntyre should end either Rhodes or Cena's title run after WrestleMania, and it would be great to see if he went up against Cena. Cena and McIntyre on the mic, bro, that'd be good. So, LA Knight and Randy Orton versus Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga in the main event. Set up, done. Nick Aldis called it official. We also had the women's tag team gauntlet match, which, as I predicted, I thought it was going to be Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. So we got now for the women's tag team titles at WrestleMania, which to me it is a big robbery that we had the women's tag team titles, which not discrediting them. They put in the work, but we have them and the War Raiders defending their tag team titles. Well, we don't have Street Profits defending theirs. I mean, come on. Street Profits deserve to be on WrestleMania Card 2 to defend their tag team titles against Marcy and Machine Gun, in my opinion. So to me, just want to state that out there. But we got that set up at WrestleMania. We also had Tiffany Stratton in her match Friday night against Roxanne Perez. And then Charlotte Flair attacked her after the match. Stratton and Flair, they are going to tear the house down at WrestleMania. A lot of people ain't expecting it, but their feud especially went up to 100 with that promo they had the previous SmackDown when the personal issues got involved, which I disagree that if all that was really a shoot and Stratton went into business for herself. I really think Stratton now definitely going to lose the Women's Championship at WrestleMania, unless Triple H ain't that kind of guy. He's going to be like, oh man, this is great. But I remember back in the day, if you went in for your business on yourself and did that, you would have lost whatever match you had coming, and probably even go on a losing streak. So I think she's going to lose. If she doesn't, it shocked me. But Charlotte Flair winning the 15 Women's World Championship, ain't going to hate it. A lot of people are. I'm not. You can't deny that she is one of the greatest women's wrestlers. So lace up the boots. As she helped us pave the way for women's wrestling and what it is today. So a lot of depression issues keeps getting attacked and negative comments and all that stuff, which is horrible because I've been through her situation before, and so I can feel her pain. So Charlotte Flair is great. You can't deny it. A lot of people don't like her, but I think she's one of the greatest of all time, just like her dad, Ric Flair. Woo! So he had that. Charlotte Flair stood up strong, attacked Tiffany Stratton, beat her down. Wade Barrett had to get in the middle of it, stop Flair, and that was the end of that. So then we had Orton, and fast forward to the main event, we had also Orton and LA Knight facing off against Tama Tonga. So let's go. Good tag team match. It was good and solid. I enjoyed it. Knight and Orton came out with the victory with Knight with the pin, and then he got attacked by Jacob Fatu before he could even celebrate. Which Jacob Fatu is winning the United States Championship, and I can't wait. I can't wait to see my Samoan werewolf, the tribal werewolf, win the United States Championship at WrestleMania. Can't wait. Huge Jacob Fatu fan, and I think he deserves his win at WrestleMania. Jacob Fatu is going to be a future world champion in WWE. Mark my words. You heard it here today. He is going to be a future world champion. And if he never becomes a future world champion, whether world heavyweight or WWE, it would be a crime against humanity. Because Jacob Fatu he is over, man, and he's great. Now, a lot of people say, oh, why he's got to be champion? He doesn't have to be. He's over right now without a title. But if he won one, it will put him even more over. So I would like to see in the future Jacob Fatu become the new, technically, Roman Reigns, and he carries the bloodline, and he becomes, it would be even great if he challenges Roman to be the tribal chief and he wins, and that's how Roman Reigns goes out and he passes the torch to Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu is the future of this business, and he's a future world champion. And I will die on that hill. So that was SmackDown. Now on to Raw. Raw last night was great. It was a good Raw, 3 hours long. Again, just going to go over some of the key factors. We have the World Tag Team Championship set up this week with New Day and War Raiders, and it looks like there's going to be some kind of stipulation because they're talking about going to war. So I think it'll be some kind of no disqualification tag team match, and we're going to see New Day with the War Raiders. I honestly think New Day's going to win. I do. I think they're going to come out with the win on this and defeat the War Raiders. War Raiders have been World Tag Team Champs for a while, and I love it. They're great, and I'm glad they got, pretty much everything back, their old school theme and all that stuff, and they've been presented way better than they've ever been on Raw. Triple H has been presenting them well. The whole biker look, stuff going on. It's just awesome. War Raiders, they're the Raw tag team in my opinion. They are the top guys. New Day, their heel turn has done wonders. I love it. Love the new look. Love the new theme. And so the new Day and the heel New Day is great. And if they won the tag team titles, I think it would be fantastic. They're one of the greatest tag teams in WWE history. Not the greatest. Don't get twisted. I didn't say the greatest. To me, that's still the Hardys, the Hardy Boys. Jeff, always. But you can't deny that the New Day is one of the greatest tag team in the company. They have been great, and I miss Big E. And if it's no DQ, I just thought about this. Big E might come back and either cost them the titles, or what if he joins them and wins the titles, or helps them win the titles? Something to think about. If it is a no DQ match, I can see him coming back and costing them the World Tag Team Championships, and him finding a new partner and facing New Day, the New Day. Just something to think about. Keep that in mind. But we're going to get that. You had some promos with Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, and Bianca Belair. Not promos, but video packages. All great. Hyping up their matches. I really hate that we didn't get to see them at all tonight. At least one of them. But the video packages, they were great. The video promos, they were fun to watch. All three of them had a great one in their own way. So that match, to me, it's hard between Flair and Stratton and the triple threat match with Ripley, Sky, and Belair. It's going to be a hard. Which one's going to be better? I'm just saying. This triple threat match, I think Rhea Ripley's going to come out on top. No pun intended. But I think she's going to come out on top and she's going to win the Women's World Championship at WrestleMania. And then we're going to see Bianca and Ripley go at it and to go all the way to SummerSlam. And I think that's when Belair will win the Women's World Championship, and then she'll hold the title going into next year's WrestleMania. That's how I see this playing out at WrestleMania this weekend. We also had the big 3 triple threat in the main at the end of the show tonight. We had Roman, Rollins, and Punk all. Anyway, you had Roman first. Roman caught Heyman with Punk. You know, Heyman throughout the night was showing he was waiting for Roman to show up all night long. He was nervous and everything like that. And Heyman is he deserves an Oscar. He deserves an Oscar. But Roman caught Heyman with Punk and didn't even say a word. Just stormed out into the ring. Just stormed out there. And then we had Roman cut his promo, talking about loyalty and all this, which I've been a Roman Reigns fan since the NXT days with Shield Day 1. Been behind Roman Reigns, even when Roman Reigns was being hated on and disrespected, and everyone kept speaking all the negativity about him when he was getting his push. When he won the Royal Rumble, and The Rock tried to raise his hand, and he got even more boos. Then he faced Triple H at WrestleMania 32 for the WWE title, and people booed him for winning the title. And then you had him face Brock Lesnar numerous times for the Universal Championship and WWE Championship, and people booed him. And just on and on and on. People just kept booing Roman Reigns. And then he did he came out about his cancer was back, had to go away for a while. Then he came back, then everybody was on the Roman train. And then you had everybody on the Roman train when he came back as the Tribal Chief. And he went away in 2020. And then he returned at SummerSlam, won the Universal Championship. And that's when his great Universal WWE Championship reign, which I don't think he should have ended at WrestleMania 40. That's just my opinion. But everyone jumped on the Roman train. Tribal Chief, ones were up. Everybody was acknowledging Roman Reigns. I've been a fan since day one. Big Dog, Roman Empire, you name it. I was there at the Shield, and now the Tribal Chief. And I love the Tribal Chief. I love it. Wish he would have went this a lot sooner, but a lot of people takes them a while to get their right gimmick. But I love Roman Reigns, and I love this Roman Reigns. I've always been a Roman Reigns fan. Roman Reigns all day. But yeah, you had this happen tonight. I'm talking about loyalty. Seth Rollins came out, pointing out a few things about Paul Heyman. Like, hey, yeah, he chose to agree to the favor, but his favor is still a choice. So he's choosing Punk over you. So he put all that into Roman Reigns. And if you notice, Rollins is manipulating everybody. If you see this. And then on the podcast, Rollins said the same thing Cena said about stealing money from a billionaire's kid. Rollins said that about Punk on the podcast. Cena said it to Rhodes a couple weeks ago on Raw. I think Rollins could be the third guy with Paul Heyman. And they basically take over the WWE. Cena wins the WWE Championship, and I think maybe, who knows, maybe Rollins could cost Rose that title. And if you think about it, Rollins and Cena has been with WWE through thick and thin. They have never left for another company when they didn't get their way or didn't get their spot, didn't get their main event, didn't get their title match. They stayed with WWE. When you think about it, Rollins went down and wrestled with the Intercontinental title, put the Intercontinental title more over than it ever was. And then you have Cena, same thing. WWE numerous times, 16 times, maybe 17 times this week, and they've always remained WWE. Granted, Cena left for Hollywood, but he never left for another wrestling company. Same thing for Rollins. What did Rose and Punk do? Rose left, and he even created the other company. Punk later joined a couple of years later, and they both talked about taking down WWE and that company being the alternative. What if? And if you look at it too, Rock never went away either. He just went to Hollywood, never went to another wrestling company. So what if this is the new WWE corporation and you got Rock, Cena, and Rollins all together? Heyman's a far stretch. I don't know. I think he might honestly join Punk or neither of them, and we'll see the big Braun Breaker team up. And he just said, screw all this. Don't care to hell none of y'all. I'm going my own way. And then he finds Braun Breaker. But what if this is the seeds being planted? Just something to think about. But in with a big brawl, Rollins hitting Roman with the classic, and even Michael Cole said it, the shield chair in the back. They brought that back again. We returned to that memory. Rollins still stabbing people in the back. And then you got Punk, and then Rollins stands tall. And then you have Paul Heyman in shock. Like, oh my gosh, what should I do? Both my guys are down. So you had that tonight as your Raw ending. You also had a great match with Rey Mysterio and Julius Creed. Julius Creed and Rey Mysterio put a fantastic match. Julius Creed, man, the strength. Holding Rey Mysterio up, climbing up the steps on the side turnbuckle, on the side of the apron, and holding Rey Mysterio up like that. Strong. And then you got Chad Gable with the Lucha mask on. We can all say it. I know it. We see right through you, Chad Gable. Come out, and he attacked Rey Mysterio, carrying a cross versus AJ Styles. That, to me, was the match of the night. And Cross, even though he lost, I still think the seeds are being planted for the soon-to-be Karrion Kross push that we have been pushing this whole time as Kross fans. I've been a Karrion Kross fan since I seen him in Impact way back in the day, TNA Impact. I was a huge fan when he came to NXT. I was a big fan when he was an NXT World Champion. He deserves his push. He has earned it, especially with the crap that Vince McMahon put him through, especially with that stupid Spartan look. And then he left for a while. Triple H gained control, and then he brought him back, and then it looked like they was going to just put him right there in the world title picture against Roman Reigns when he returned. And then that got rode off or whatever, and then went a different direction. Then there was the whole tease of him being a part of the Wyatt Six as the White Rabbit. I mean, Kross deserves this push and direction. Renew his contract, sign him for an extended amount of time, good 3 to 5 years, and then give him his push and watch Kross go over. Not only as a world champion, he's doing it without a title already, and he did it for months without even wrestling a match. And then now you put him in the ring last night against AJ Styles, and then you had him face, and then they had a great match, total great match, and then the story is AJ needs to win for guys like him in the back against guys like Logan Paul, who just walk in the company and just get all the flowers and the glory. And then you have guys like Kross and Styles and all that earn their way up. And then Kross is pulling the strings. I still think we're going to see him at WrestleMania. But it was a great match, and that was the match of the night to me. You also had Liv Morgan facing Bayley. Bayley comes out with the victory, and then so I think that is a sign that we're going to see that Liv Morgan and Raquel are going to retain the titles. Who knows? We'll see. But a great Raw last night. Penta had a great match. Penta, I mean, he is against Finn Balor. That match was great. And I can't wait for that Fatal 4-Way match this week. And this is my bold prediction. Dominic Mysterio's winning the Intercontinental Championship. You heard it here first. Dominic Mysterio's going to win the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania. Mark it. But that's my Monday Night Raw review. My SmackDown review. Going into WrestleMania, we got one more SmackDown. And John Cena's showing up Friday night. So I can't wait for that. That's going to be great. And this Saturday and Sunday, might do a watch along. We'll see. I'm not sure yet. Thinking about doing a live watch along, or I'm just going to review the show, the WrestleMania afterwards, of course, on Monday. I'm going to wait for both nights and then review it on Monday. Or I might review night one on Sunday. We'll see. Still thinking about it. But great Monday Night Raw. Great Friday Night SmackDown this past week. Can't wait for WrestleMania. So if you like this, if you're watching on X, like it, repost it, comment your thoughts, your predictions, your everything about Raw and SmackDown, and your predictions about WrestleMania. And if you're listening on YouTube, subscribe, like, hit that notification button, comment below. Again, this is a podcast that loves pro wrestling. Doesn't matter if it's WWE or any company, it's going to be pro wrestling, or I love pro wrestling, and I always will, and I'll share my positives over the negatives more so. This is just me, and I want to keep pushing this message no matter what. So thank y'all for listening. Thank you for giving me your time. Can't wait for NXT tonight. Can't wait for Friday Night SmackDown. Can't wait for WrestleMania, Stay and Deliver, and then can't wait for WrestleMania. Big week this week for WWE. So, love y'all. God bless. Have a good day.